Hey guys, in this video we are covering a crash course guide to traveling to Panama.
You're watching Outside is Calling.
Intro video.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jesse.
And we've been traveling full-time for nearly 2 years.
We escaped our 9-to-5 jobs, became digital nomads, and we're even in a documentary.
Check out OutsideIsCalling.com in the description below if you'd like to know more.
We've been living in Panama for 3 months and have gotten a ton of questions from people asking us what it's like.
We've created an entire series answering those questions and more. So subscribe so you don't miss any.
And for those of our longtime RV subscribers, even if you don't want to go to Panama, please stick around because next month we'll have a lot of videos about taking our big ol' honkin' RV down into Mexico. So our first trip to Panama years ago, we were pretty nervous, didn't know what to expect, and we had a lot of those same questions most other first-timers out of the country have, or at least first-timers into Panama. You know, currency, what's the power like, what all do you need to bring? And so we want to do a short kind of overview video here. This is kind of a crash course, a 101 on everything about traveling in Panama. So the first thing to jump into is currency and electrical power. What's nice, if you're coming from the US, it's the same currency and your same phone chargers are going to work. Panama does have its own currency. Officially, it's the Balboa, but the Panamanian Balboa is pegged to the US dollar. So 1 Balboa equals 1 US dollar. So it's very easy. There's no math involved. We're trying to figure out the cost of goods or services. Also with the electrical power, in large part from the Panama Canal and the US influence, the power grid is the same 120 volts, AC power, same plugs and everything that we have in the States. So if you're coming from the States, again, very easy transition to just bring the same chargers and power cords you have at home.
Depending on where you plan to visit in Panama, there might be recommended immunizations that you should get before you leave. Things like, what was it, typhoid?
Yeah, there was about 6 or 7 of them. Typhoid, dengue,
one.
malaria. There's several important diseases that you need to be aware of.
Yes.
But those are limited to very specific areas, and most of the touristy areas that we went to, it wasn't even a factor.
Yes, so we did not have to get any immunizations for this trip, but we did double check before we left. Also, if you have any medication, be sure to bring your own. Panama is basically on par, I would say, with medicine and care in the United States, but their medicines are very different. So if you have anything like me, I'm a diabetic, so I made sure to bring my own insulin because I didn't want to have to run into any issues. If you are taking medication that you need every day, bring it with you. Also, if there is any medication that you are used to using, for example, cortisone, we use cortisone often for bug bites, could not find cortisone anywhere in Panama. Everything that they offered to us was very different, had scary health warnings that we weren't willing to risk with Tucker. So if you need things like that, you might want to bring a few tubes extra with you just so you have it.
Drinking water. That's a big question about drinking water all throughout Central America, and it varies through wherever you go, but in the places we went to, all the drinking water was totally safe at the restaurants and the places we visited. With that said, I wouldn't just go drink water from any source, but we found that all the restaurants and places where you'll get drinks at, they know to provide safe drinking water.
And the places he's referring to, this is San Carlos, Coronado, Panama City, and Portobello on the Caribbean side, is where specifically we were, and we had 0 issues.
Yeah, all the touristy places.
So as a US citizen, we applied and were granted for visas upon arrival. They permit US citizens to have a visa for 6 months, which is much longer than what we're used to. We're used to a 90-day visa. Some of the requirements, though, you needed to show proof of either $500 in your bank account or a return flight out of Panama within the time frame. You need to make sure that your passport is going to remain valid the entire time you are in Panama, and then some, right? It has to extend.
I believe that they require you to have a 6-month or greater, valid time span, which coincides with that 6-month visa that they issue us. And on a random side note, for people arrived to Panama by boat, you actually will get a 3-month visa, but you'll be able to extend it up to 2 years if you arrive by boat. Which
I thought it was just 2 extensions.
Probably won't apply to most people, but no. I went to the website today to research, and it actually said 2 years.
It's quite a difference.
So if you want to travel in Panama for 2 years, maybe you should arrive by private boat.
Doesn't sound bad.
For the rest of us that fly into Panama, on your flight you'll get a customs declaration page, just one per family. On there it tells you can't bring in more than $10,000 out of the US, all kinds of other things, but what's important is that A, you have a pen on the flight to fill it out. And what else was it?
Please make sure you have an address to write out on the form. They will give you the stink eye if you cannot tell them where you're going to be staying in Panama. So it can be the hotel you're going to stay at, it can be your friend's house. You just need an address.
Yeah, I think it's more of like they need the blank filled out. They don't care where you're going, just need that blank filled out. That's all, and then you're happy. It's dark quick here.
Yeah.
It's I think like 91 degrees. We're totally covered in sweat from being outside for like 30 minutes max.
Well, Jesse and the guy just like went super fast at packing this whole van with all of our gear. So that's what you're saying.
So for phone options, we have Verizon back in the States, and so we were able to use our Verizon phones, but it would cost $10 a day, and for 3 months, $900 later, not worth it. So we decided to go with local services. That's Mobile, Movistar, and Claro are the 3 biggest. There's other ones out there as well. We chose Claro, and we had great quality, like almost always 4 bars of LTE. So great cell service most places, and it worked very well. So just take your US SIM card out of your phone, get a local SIM card to put in there, and then their plans are much different. You have to go in much more frequently to update your plan than like stateside. We're just used to, you pay a monthly fee and you're done. You actually have to go into an electronics store, get your little Claro plan, and then update it. You have to put minutes and money onto it. So for us, it ended up being $1 per day for unlimited data. So pretty cheap.
When we first started traveling full-time in our RV, we went with a Travel Assist Sam's Club membership. Now this is not necessarily...
Good Sam.
Oh. We went with a Travel Assist membership through Good Sam. And now this isn't insurance, but it will cover the charges if you are traveling international and need to be airlifted to a higher level care facility. That could be a pretty costly thing, so we make sure we have that.
So this is just a screenshot of the website for Good Sam's Travel Assist. We are not affiliated. This is just what we've been using because we have it from buying our RV through Good Sam or through Camping World. And anyways, this is what we have. Please, if you guys know of any better ones, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know what else is out there. But for those of you interested, this is what we have.
So that's what we used for travel insurance. There are many options depending on your level of need for care. We just kind of had the basic emergency services.
It'll be covered in a future video in more detail, but in general, healthcare is very affordable in Panama. It's kind of pay-as-you-go type service, and the private facilities we went to were very comparable to the ones we'd have in the States.
US provided health plans will not cover you in Panama. That's why it's pay-as-you-go. When traveling international, anywhere international, make sure you not only bring your passport, but you also make copies of your passport as well as the stamp that you get at customs that proves your visa is still valid. If you're interested to hear more as to why that is so important, we have some personal experiences that we'll talk about in a different video.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. It's also good to be aware of the local Panamanian holidays if you're going to visit, because those do really greatly impact the availability of lodging and how busy the restaurants and beaches or mountains or wherever you're going. Some of those holidays do impact. We happen to be in Panama during both a presidential election and also during the Semana Santa Easter holiday, both big deals, and they did impact us, not real badly, but we had impacts on the availability of public transport, which actually affected, we had a nanny helping watch our son, and she wasn't able to come help work a couple days.
Also, side note, hardly any taxi drivers work on Sundays in Panama. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
If you are planning a trip to Panama and it will be your first time, we would love to answer any questions if we can, so leave a message in the comments below.
Be sure to check out our playlist with tons more information about traveling through Panama and Central America. Hey guys, I've created a website page just for all this information covered in the series. The link is in the description below.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time. Was that good enough? Okay.